Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today I'm going to take a quick look at two software companies that are pretty strong in the metaverse, but more importantly, I think they're just strong overall. The first company we're going to take a quick look at is Autodesk. The second is going to be one of my favorite companies out right now, Unity. And we can see right now with the overall correction, both these stocks have kind of pulled back. Autodesk right now is down about 18.8% from its all-time highs, and we also see Unity down 31.1, almost 31.2% from its highs. But if we take a quick look at how they performed year to date, both of them have performed pretty similar. They're down roughly 9% year to date. But on today's episode, I'm going to take a quick look at both the bullish and the bearish points for both these companies. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Check out the pinned comment where I have these free presentation, my free weekly newsletter, my free Discord, and a lot of great investing tips there. So make sure to check out the links below. So like I mentioned, the first company we're going to take a quick look at is Autodesk, ticker ADSK. This would be in my portfolio if it was in my portfolio, a tier 2 stock. But right now I don't own any shares. So let's take a quick look at what are some of the bullish points for this company. The first thing I want to say is this is definitely a leader in its market. For example, every civil engineer that I know knows about Autodesk and or uses it at their job. Autodesk has become a leader in the architecture, engineering, construction. But more importantly, right, I mean, as the world continues to develop, I do believe that they're going to be a huge leader and continue to be a leader here in the product design and manufacturing. Let's say you're a firm that's designing new products, new phones, new robots, new something. You have most likely are using Autodesk one way or another to design that new product. Also, if you are in the media or entertainment business, you're also using probably Autodesk Maya to create that cartoon, to create that movie, to create a model of whatever character you're using for a game. So Autodesk software is used in a variety of markets, and all these markets, I believe, will continue to grow. Another thing, right? The metaverse, all these products or all this kind of digital transformation can be used if the metaverse becomes something within the next few years, right? If you need to build some form of building for the metaverse, you could use Autodesk, their CAD software. If you're trying to produce some form of product for the metaverse, some form of digital asset you're most likely using, you can use their design and manufacturing. And if you want to create maybe some avatars, some cartoons, something for the metaverse, you could also use Maya. So their solutions from their softwares are endless in my opinion. But before we begin, let's take a listen to today's sponsor. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me scout out new growth stocks. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services The Fool offers. Through the Motley Fool Stock Advisor services, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have done amazing returns. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more of this year, you can visit fool.com/Jose Najarro or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if the stock advisor is right for you. Thanks again to the Motley Fool, and now onto today's video. But not only that, if we take a look, this is a company that has a nice amount of revenue, 1.17 billion in billings, and we can see and 1.13 billion in total revenue. We can see revenue growth is growing from all their departments, up strong double digits, some high teens. There's one that grew in the mid-teens, but overall revenue is growing at double digits, which I think is pretty impressive. They're also positive in free cash flow from operations. So this is not only a growth story, this is not only a software company that has high margins, but it is also a company that has positive cash flow that does well, right? That is what you want to have, what you want to deal with, a software company that's not overly valued. Some other things we want to take a quick look at is Autodesk, in my opinion, does a lot of great acquisitions, and they continue to kind of come up with plans to acquire new companies to improve their solutions. For example, on December 2021, Autodesk is to acquire a cloud-based estimating company, Pro Est. So again, I mentioned this is used a lot for architectures, engineering, and construction. So Autodesk is increasing its solution in the architecture, engineering, and construction business, which I think is pretty awesome. Next, I do want to say is they recently announced partnership with a very popular company right now, and that is Matterport. You know how Matterport, you're able to kind of take pictures and create this 3D digital image of whatever you've taken. Well, now those 3D images to some extent can be exported into Autodesk or can be imported into Autodesk. Now, I want to take a quick look at some of the bearish points for this company. The first thing is supply chain issues. Supply chain issues is definitely affecting supply chain issues and global labor shortage. If there's an issue getting building materials, if there's an issue getting less workers to build these projects, then some of these engineering, constructions, and architecture firms are not making or not doing as many projects as they probably could. So as a result, there's a least demand for Autodesk solutions. Some other things I do want to mention in form of bearish sentiments. Again, bearish doesn't mean that it's completely bad. It's just something that investors should keep an eye out before investing. So they do have about $1.8 billion, $1.75 billion in cash and cash equivalents, but they do have a nice amount of long-term debt, roughly $2.6 billion. So they are a bit leveraged. Again, this is a company that is profitable and positive in cash flow from operations. So it's okay to be leveraged, something to keep in mind of, especially if they continue to make acquisitions, right? If they continue to make acquisitions, this debt is going to continue to go up. The other thing I want to say is there is a nice amount of competitors in the CAD software market, so something to keep in mind of. At the same time, Autodesk still looks to be one of the leaders. Now, if we take a quick look at technicals, I do enjoy this price point, and I did a video around here when it was 250. I believe in around that 250s, the mid 200s, that's a great time to acquire a good position. Right now, it's probably a mid to high dollar cost averaging to build up a base. I do like Autodesk at this price point. If we also take a quick look at Autodesk in form of price to sales ratio, if we take a look at the past 3 years, it does seem a bit high, but I don't think it's crazily overvalued, right? And if we take a look at EV to EBITDA, same thing. I think the EV to EBITDA forward ratio is looking pretty attractive. It's looking cheaper than most of 2020 and then most of 2021. So overall, valuation doesn't really scare me too much in Autodesk. This is a position where if I wanted to enter, like I mentioned, it would be more of a mid to dollar cost averaging. Now, the second company we're going to take a quick look at is one of my favorites. This is Unity Software, ticker U. This is a tier 1 company, and I do own shares. It's one of my top 5 positions in my portfolio. So some of the bullish points for Unity. This is a game engine. So if you're creating a game, you're most likely using Unity. A lot of big games a lot of popular mobile games have used Unity to create their games. The great thing about Unity is not only it's used for the game creation, but if you want to do stuff after the game is created, they also offer numerous solutions. This is a company that's also focusing in real-time 3D content, kind of things for like simulation, automation. That's very important for things like automation, for autonomous driving, for robotics movements. And on November 10th of 2021, Unity launches next level simulation technology with Unity Simulation Pro and Unity System Graph. And here we can see Unity Simulation Pro. This allows you to run numerous simulations to teach your robots, to teach your autonomous vehicle, to teach whatever you're trying to teach with more and more cases, and it's cheaper than doing real life cases. So I think this is pretty impressive. What else do we have for Unity? Unity is pretty much a beast, a strong growth company. Revenue most recent quarter grew 43% year over year. They are also seeing strong growth in customer base. I believe their customers that generate more than $100,000 of revenue in the trailing 12 months have grown by a nice amount year over year. 973 this most recent quarter compared to 739 same time last year. So this is a growth story. Now, if we want to take a quick look, they also have a very healthy balance sheet. They have plenty of cash at hands, enough cash and cash equivalents to kind of cover their total liabilities, and that's that a good portion of their total liabilities is deferred revenue. Roughly, I want to say probably 20% is deferred revenue. So this company has plenty of cash at hands. What else do we have? Unity recently completed their acquisition of Weta Digitals. Weta is a FX company that worked to create some great shows like Avatar, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, The Suicide Squad, and more. Unity on December 1st completed this acquisition. They not only get numerous of tools, they also get numerous assets, and they welcome over 275 engineers that will help evolve Unity's technology. And like I mentioned, Unity is mainly known for the gaming world, but now with this Weta Digitals and this kind of FX studio, they will be, I feel, a bigger player in the animation, in the kind of movies, cartoons market as well. And I'm super excited about that. The final bullish point I want to say is Unity has other solutions after the game is created. One of their solutions is called Unity Meditations, and this is to increase, it's more like an advertisement business. So here they're maximizing the ad revenue from your creation. And they recently on December 16th partnered up with Meta, so previously known as Facebook, to have Meta Audience Network through Unity Meditation. So if you want to advertise through numerous solutions like Meta, you can use Unity Meditation for that. I believe that's a strong move, and it's a great partnership, especially the way Meta is kind of transforming into that metaverse world. Now, if we want to take a quick look at some of the bearish points, the first bearish point is most recently they did offer some type of offering on November 17th of about 1.5 billion in convertible senior notes. As a growth company, this is going to continue. Some investors are not a fan of this. Again, it's just something to keep in mind of. The second thing is I do believe this is a company that has high expectations from the metaverse, and I believe those expectations are expected to be won very shortly. But the metaverse is something that's going to take a long time. So I do believe that's going to create a lot of volatility in the market. The final, I want to say, bearish point, in my opinion, actually there's two more. One of them is this is a company that still, if we take a look at the 9 months in this most recent year, it is burning cash flow from operations. At the same time, remember, this has a healthy balance sheet. Next, I want to say this is a company with a heavy valuation. If we take a look at Unity's price to sales ratio, this is super high. I believe it's over 28. Looking at forward price to sales ratio, that is pretty high compared to the rest of the market. So it can kind of give reasons to pull back even more. At the same time, I'm not trying to time the market here. If we take a look at technicals, I do want to say Unity, and around this 130s might be a time where I wouldn't mind mid dollar cost averaging. It's around those levels right now. Not a time for me to build up a huge position, because I believe this is going to be a volatile stock. Unless it drops below that 100s, below those 100s, that's when I would go super heavy. Now it's more like a mid dollar cost averaging if I didn't have a position. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.